We have so much fun watching Bluey that it's easy to miss some hidden details sprinkled throughout the episodes.
Yes.
And if you're a true fan of the little healer, can you name all the Easter eggs in the series? For example, did you know that Bandit is a Scorpio? Not many fans catch this, and we even know his exact birth date. Mr. Healer was born on October 25th, 1978, which means he just turned 46 this year. Crazy, right? You wouldn't even notice. This detail appears in the mini-episode Grizzly, available on Disney+. In this short story, Bandit plays a detective game using a grizzly bear puppet to figure out who's been tapping people on the shoulder. At one point, we get a glimpse of Bandit's driver's license showing our favorite dad's birthday. You can already tell today's video is packed with super cool details that almost no one noticed, right? So grab your popcorn and get ready to check out some of the most special moments in Bluey. Welcome to another Cinewave. In the episode Dance Mode, there are some awesome references. The first one is when Bandit's driver's license appears again while he's chatting with the post office clerk. The second happens right after when Chili is looking at some postcards and you can spot a few koalas on the bottom shelf, an awesome nod to Australia's native animals. In the background, there's a red sign with the words Post Pet, which is a clever pun combining Post-it or post office. Now here's a cool animation error from the episode Magic Asparagus. In this episode, Bluey gets a magical asparagus that can transform her family members into animals. When Bandit transforms into a peacock and starts dancing, for less than a second, the spot on his back appears right in the middle of his chest. It's super quick, but if you watch in slow motion, you can catch it. In the episode Tradies, when Chili hires 2 dogs to build a pond in the backyard, you can see 2 trees on the other side of the fence, one green with yellow flowers in the middle, and another further back with pink leaves. At the beginning of the episode, the trees are far apart with a noticeable gap between them, but as the episode goes on, the green tree moves closer until it's almost touching the pink one. Could it be that Lucky's dad moved a potted plant around? We think it might just be a mistake. In episode 14 of season 1, Bandit takes the pups to grab some food at an Asian restaurant. Anyone else hungry just thinking about it? At the beginning of the episode, the delivery driver's face is completely white, but by the end, she suddenly has a dark spot. What happened there? This is clearly a mistake. There's no way it's a different cook stepping in. The animation team probably forgot to add the spot earlier. And what about you? Do you prefer ordering takeout or dining at restaurants? Comment with #hungry so we can get to know you better. But sometimes Ludo Studios, the production company behind Bluey, adds subtle adjustments to make things even more special. The next detail is something super hard to notice, so pay close attention. If you take a good look at Bluey's bedroom, you'll notice she has an oval-shaped lamp. But look at that lamp a little more closely. It's slightly crooked, right? It doesn't follow a perfectly egg-like shape. For example, in the episode Sleepy Time, when Bluey turns on the light, you can see a small flaw on the side, almost as if it were drawn by a shaky hand. However, in the episode Easter, when the Healer sisters are hunting for eggs, you can spot the same lamp in the background, but this time it's perfectly shaped, with no flaws at all.
This was a mistake!
There are several Bluey minisodes with super cool details. Some are easy for anyone to spot, but as you probably know, Bluey is an Australian show, and many of the references are easier to catch if you're from that country. For instance, in the mini-episode Burger Shop, Bandit is lying on the couch reading a newspaper. On the front page, there's a photo of a dog playing tennis as the main story. That photo is actually a tribute to Australian tennis champion Ashley Barty. Barty is a true pride of Australian sports, and Bluey decided to honor her with this little Easter egg. Do you remember the episode Unicorse, when Bluey didn't want to go to sleep, so Bandit and Chili decided to tell her a bedtime story to tire her out? In this story, Mr. Healer uses a mischievous puppet known as Unicorse, and he also brings along a pink book with a unicorn on the cover. That same book reappears in the mini-episode Bingo 3000, sitting near the living room TV while Bandit is playing on the couch with Bingo. One cool thing about Bluey is that even the numbers on screen can carry hidden meanings. For instance, Bandit's car license plate reads 419 HLR. The letters HLR stand for Healer, the family's last name, and also the breed of dog they are. But the number 419 represents the color blue, which in color codes is the exact shade of Bluey's fur. There's another moment where this happens. In the episode Fairy Tale, a boat appears behind the Healer family's house, and it also features a color code. The boat has the number AB7490 written on it. It could have been a coincidence, but we like to think it's a clue. That number corresponds to a shade of pink, the same color as Grandma Chris's glasses. Maybe that boat belonged to her, and in a future episode, we'll find out that she loved sailing when she was younger. In Bluey's stories, even the mini-episode Blocks has a super cool detail. It's quick and easy to miss, but if you spot it, it shows how thoughtful this animation is. This episode takes place in Grandma Chris and Grandpa Bob's apartment. At one point in the kitchen, you can see a photo on the fridge of Frisky and Radley traveling together. When the episode first aired, we didn't yet know they would eventually become a couple and get married, but the fact that there's a photo of them on Grandma's fridge shows how much care Ludo Studios puts into the show's production. There are also some cool references. Right at the start of the episode Bath Time, there's a fun nod to the classic Australian film Crocodile Dundee. In the episode On the Road, when Bluey mentions a game where you're a monkey that has to jump over exploding barrels, it's a clear reference to Donkey Kong. And to make sure we don't drop an explosive barrel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.
Thank you.
In the Healer Sisters toy room, there are several details you probably didn't notice, such as the Pokemon Torterra. Take a look at this scene from the episode Mr. Monkey Jocks, where in the corner, you can spot a little creature that looks a lot like this Pokemon. Even though it's subtle, we can see there's a lot of attention to detail in the Healer family's house. In the same scene from the toy room, you can spot some geckos on the wall. These are the ones Bluey and Bingo use to play their game of sticking to the ceiling and asking someone to stand underneath, waiting for them to fall. There's something in Bluey that is almost magical and extremely fun. Everyone knows that the adults in this show are determined to play along with the pups' games. For example, when they use objects and pretend they're wands that make things heavy or do other cool things. But there's one episode where something even more special happens, and it doesn't really make sense. In the episode Squash, where Bandit and Stripe are competing against each other, Bluey and Bingo are supposedly controlling them as if they were in a video game. Of course, the two adults are just pretending, but how is it possible that they know exactly where to go if their backs are to the pups? Another detail from the same episode is in the background design. Squash is a type of game played in a closed room with white walls, where two people with rackets hit a rubber ball and try to outplay each other. Because of this, the walls get dirty over time, and in the Bluey episode, you can see that the squash arena walls are dirty, exactly like they would be in real life. There are times when Bluey likes to get really close to Bingo's face because she's looking at something really small. When this happens, you can notice that the artwork changes and her nose takes on a different texture. It's almost like the snout of a real dog. Take a look, and if you'd like, compare it with the nose of your own dog to see the resemblance. A detail that often goes unnoticed is that Bluey is actually a yellow belt in karate. In the episode Garbage Night, we see that at night she's wearing a karate gi with a white belt, and she progresses to the next level during the episode. It can also be said that the events in this same episode span from 1 to 6 months because multiple nights take place during the story. But if you do some research, you'll find that karate exams happen within this time frame. So, just one Bluey episode can show a big jump in time. Another detail that appears in this episode is the type of intelligence Bluey has. On Garbage Nights, the Healer family does recycling, but it's hard to know exactly which type of trash the collectors are going to pick up. That's when Bluey shows how she notices the pattern of the garbage truck's schedule based on the phases of the moon. When the moon is full, it's one type of trash, and when it's waning, it's a different kind. She's so smart, isn't she? But what about you? Have you noticed these amazing details in the Bluey series? There are many more out there, but we'll save those for another time. Until then, you can enjoy the 2 videos we've selected for you. See you in the next video!